Okay, now welcome back. Vintage video time, and in a shocking turn of events, I've decided to play some Dredge. So this list here, Fantaman trophied with at some point. Can't say I checked the date, but there's a 5-0 that Fantaman has, and this is like the max permission kind of blue Dredge list. So we've forgone all the Silversmote Ghouls that you usually see or frequently see at the moment, and that's in exchange for additional Mind Break Trap and additional Force Negations. So the full set of negations and a trap in the main. 4 thugs, which is neat. And then everything else is as you expect. Icarids, Amalgams, Chills are your main threats. You've also got some Narcs. All the permission, Negation, Force of Will, Chalice, Misstep, Mind Break. 4 more Griefs to interact with. And then 4 Noxious to round out that questionable 12 bizarre idea. 4 hollow ones, additional threats, and then a bunch of dredges. So that's great. Cool deck. Very tempo-y in the way that it plays usually. Post board, we've got 4 ley lines for the mirror, 4 sickening shoals for those Yixler Jailer Containment Priest matchups, 4 vigors, which come in almost every single game too, and then triple waste. So that's neat. The wastelands are interesting because usually those are going to be additional mind break traps. And where this list is so reliant on sort of like the therapy Icarid kill, a lot of the time we don't care about Tabernacle at Pendule Vale, although that's seen a decrease in play. So it's interesting as to what purpose are these strip mines providing. If there's less Tabernacle and we don't care about Tabernacle in deck building, what are these 3 doing? I think that's a potential spot you could look at. But are there many other cards that we can put in there? Maybe you can sneak in a bit more graveyard hate. Maybe there's another creature hate spell we could use. Maybe we could get some more mind break traps in the mix. I don't know. But we're going to run the list as is because it's a nice one. Very tempo based blue Dredge. No Silversmote Ghouls. Let's get down to the action. I'll see you guys for round 1. Okie dokie, round 1 we're up against Chase Hop. And we're on the play. So let's get our 7 going. We've got a cheeky 2 bizarre up against a Lurus deck. So I guess I'll keep. And we've got clear Icarid Grave Troll discard. Let's see what comes along. Just the thug, yeah, cool. Industress. So they've revealed a Lurus. Do we want to play around a main deck Soul Guide? We may as well, right? There's no harm. This doesn't play for turn 2 Icarid against a Wasteland, so maybe that was poor. Maybe that was poor. Like, if they just Soul Guide me, then I'm sad, right? So there's a Saga, that's good. Vexing Bauble. Yeah, alright. Seems fine. Can't imagine that's going to do a lot this game. I've got 2 Bazaars. I've got an Icarid on the go. And I assume I can kill them or just about kill them prior to that Saga resolving. So I'm just going to discard the Thug at this point, right? Yes. So knock, chill. Okay. And then I've got Grave Troll for my upkeep. I've got a Shambling Shell to munch on now. Draw Step will pick up the Troll. Hit nothing good. Play the second Bazaar. Activate Stinkweed Imp. Activate Golgari Thug. And we'll discard Grave Troll, Thug, and Narc, I think. And that was not the most exciting like dumping of our deck there. Because I don't think I get anything back. No, they all die, and now we're fairly exposed to a Time Walk. I have got 2 Icarids in the bin. I have only used one of my chills, I think. Oh no, I hit 2, okay. kind of needed that Narc to be a bit later on in my deck. But hey ho. Looks good from here, provided they don't walk. If there's no walk, they should just die. Double Icarid, so you're at 4, and I've got 27 cards, so I can probably find 2 chills in that. Tundra. So Plow can slow me down. Manifold, so it's a PO list instead of a control list. And now they can just PO for 2, right? That's just a stock up. Stock up gets to look at 5 cards for their 1 main deck soul guide. If they find the main deck soul guide, then I sandbag this Stinkweed Imp. And I've got 2 Bazaars, so same shit, different turn, I guess. They find a Manifold Key. And then that's their turn. Doesn't look incredible for them. Because now I'm going to have my amalgams back. 27, sure. So Grave Troll. Thug, so this is like the slight downside if I'm going to miss on that Stinkweed Imp. But the chill's great. I think the chill's lethal right now. The chill is 10. So 17 cards. Grave Troll. Stinkweed Imp. That's lethal now. And I can also just dredge 6 to empty my deck and kill them. But opponent knows what's up, and opponent confirms that they are in fact dead. So PO list, I guess I want this. I believe I want a number of Sickening Shoals. So I'll have Containment Priest, Post, Board. They didn't look like a Wasteland deck. I always think I've got Thugs to trim. I'm going to try trimming these Griefs, but I'm not convinced. I don't usually like trimming the Griefs, but I'm going to give it a go to have the full suite of Shoals and Vigors. But then in a minute I might have a different suite of cards in my deck, who knows. Okie dokie, game 2, we've got a Force of Will, we've got a Sickening Shoal for their Priest, and we've got some cards with Bizarre, so we'll keep this one. We just need to beat the Needle this turn, and then it should be game on, I think. Mana Crypt's a fucking scary one, but because we're so dead to Pithing Needle, we kind of need to ensure our opponent doesn't resolve that. I don't know what I'm going to do against a turn 1 stock up here. Oh, it's just a Yixlid Jailer. It's a Demonic Tutor. So here's the thing. If they're getting the Force of Will for the DT, that's bad. Force of Will for the Pithing Needle, that's bad. If they're getting the Pithing Needle and they already have the Force, that's bad. I think we're just supposed to let this go and cross our fingers that they're not getting the Force of Will. We just hope it's turn 1 DT for Needle, no protection. That might be a poor plan. I am going to fight this, but where I'm on 7, I just want to take a moment to consider not fighting this, going to hand size, discarding the Stinkweed Imp, and then dredging through from there. Just slow dredge them out. And then we've got Sickening Shoal protected against their Containment Priest or Yixlid Jailer next turn. Which I think is interesting. But I'm still going to fight the Needle because the upside is too high. And that gets through. If I was on 6, then I wouldn't have taken that little second to consider the slow dredge plan. But I think it's something that we've got to think about, right? Like, I think it's good. So we can always dredge back up onto this Sickening Shoal should we need to. And we can always Sickening Shoal with Narcomoeba triggers on the stack once we've dredged back up. And that misstep draw is just phenomenal for things such as a Grafdigger's Cage in the future. So Mox Emerald. Mox Emerald in a collapse of all things that are great in the world. Mox Emerald plays the Tundra, casts the Soul Guide Lantern, which we will misstep. And now they've got Force of Will Blue up. That doesn't seem to be too much of a drama. They eat the Icarid and then buy Lurus to hand, I imagine. So let's see if they feed me the Stinkweed Imp. They do, so that's great. We hit nothing off of it, but I've got 8 power in play, and they've shown no. They've got 1 card in hand, which we know is Lurus of the Dream Den. We know we've got that covered. They are going to get off a Needle here. And maybe even a Soul Guide activation. They don't get the Soul Guide activation off. They go to 7. So this will be Lurus into Needle. And then we get to just shoot Lurus on site. Or they can just draw stock up. A Time Twister. Okay. Pretty down for a Time Twister. Now he's dead on board. Oh, but the plan is to kill me. I see. Mox Opal. Sure. Playing the Time Twister there is really interesting. I guess we can activate. Oh, I guess I can't activate. My bad. It's a Bowmaster. Okay. You've got a Bowie boy. So a bit more controlling than I thought they were. So Bowman's landed. Let's make them use their Soul Guide here. Dredge a Thug. Hit 2 chills. That's quite tasty. They're going to have to respond to that, I believe. Yeah. And then we can just attack them. Not sure how they get out of this. Oh, they could have a plow. So I guess I need to fight. They've got Containment Priest. Is Containment Priest something we even care about? I've only got 2 Creeping Chills left and one of them's in my hand, so maybe I do care about Containment Priest. No, I don't. I think you're under too much pressure. Cool. So a bunch of your creatures die, and then I pass you and you've got Mana Crypts. They win the flip. Mana Vault comes in. One of their cards in hand is Lurus, right? Oh, no, they twisted it away. They twisted it away. Bowmaster doesn't come in. We'll just take a draw step then. Man, Hollow One's so good. Oh, that just dies. Okay. So I've got 1 Creeping Chill. left in deck. So I guess we can just see if we can just bink that now, and then we pass them to a mana crypt flip. And we hit it, so we win. With double Force of Will behind. Nice. We win the match. That was cool. I'll see you for the next round. Okay, round 2 against Picarita. No Lurus, so we've got to get through game 1. Oh god, turn 1 with just a Force of Will, but they've just revealed a chance of the Annex, which means we could just be dead on 1 to an Anointed Peacekeeper here. There's the cavern. It name's human. There's no other human at 3, is there? No. Okay, so once again we kept 7. So we can slow Dredge at least. On the draw with a Chancellor. It's rough. Okay. We'll see what our Sickening Shoals are in the board. And we need them just to have no good follow-ups, right? That's the joke here. We need them to have no good follow-ups, and we need to Dredge slowly very well. That's a great joke. Well done, deck. You're so funny. We all laughed. So turn 2 for the opponent. Land Dungeoneer basically seals it. This time they named Dragon, which you can't play a dragon here. Don't be absurd. Yeah, no, Dungeoneer. That's fair. And I don't think that's something I can beat. Due to all of the protection that they're about to receive. And then they find a White Plume. Okay, so that was a really exciting game. But this happens, right? This is part of the format, like, and then sometimes Modo breaks. We'll give it a cheeky Dredge just to see. An Icarid. White Plume's going to untap your stuff. I'm at 16, taking 6, 7, 8, 9. Then White Plume is 14. The likelihood of me turning 20 next turn is horrendous. Okay. Next game. This matchup is pretty horrific. On the draw. These are the cards that I like, and then I like to cut all of these blue ones. What do we think about the Misstep? Does Misstep do anything? I think the answer is no, right? And now I don't have to stress about their caverns. I can kill their lands, I can kill their Moxen, I can kill their chalices. Not their chalices, their creatures. And I can chalice all their Moxen if I'm lucky. One thug can go just because it's always the easiest cut in the deck. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this as a plan. Okay, then game 2 on the play, mono white, and we've got a Bazaar on our second look for it. No interaction here. So let's see what interaction we can find. We'll keep this. We'll send the powder because obviously we've got the blue suite in our. No, we don't have the blue suite, so I should have sent the Narc. They've got a Leyline of the Void. That's a good one. On 7 as well. Seems bad for the home team. So we'll discard Narc, Amalgam, Thug. And then we'll just go and get our brains blown out by a strip mine. And then we'll go to round 3. What a horrendous wasteland to lose to. Grave Troll. It's really annoying that I've got these Noxious Revivals in hand, because I can't just yield everything and let them play for a few minutes. They don't have any Moxen. Do they even have a land, or did they keep... Yeah, they did. Okay. Back to me. Now I've got a Vigor. Which I will hold for a sec. I've got no reason not to. So I might get to bink a Mox of some variety. Hopefully a Chrome Mox. No, okay. That's a human. This is just another Peacekeeper. Oh boy, is our opponent good at this game. Let's kill those two. It's a shame it wasn't a Chrome Mox, because we wouldn't be able to keep them off everything. Stinkweed can kill this guy with a Sickening Shoal. And now they just name Bazaar of Baghdad. And I take 12 before I get to discard, 15 before I get to play a troll, right? So they name Bazaar. It's back to me. I have a powder. And then they have an Ancient Tomb. They have the requisite cavern to name on Seasoned Dungeoneer. Witch Enchanter. Sure. I mean, that's a relief, because that means their hand's dreadful. So we can draw out of this eventually. We're a Sickening Shoal away from great things. It's another wasteland. I take 5, I go to 12. This is going to be close. Might already be dead though. We just need them to not play spells. I go to 7, I go to 2, and then I just got to hit chills, right? That's the whole joke. Oh, not spells, dude. Stop it with all those spells over there. Another Peacekeeper, which hopefully they name Bazaar of Baghdad on. Sickening Shoal is the actual name. They name Noxious Revival. But I still die. Okay. If this was a Sickening Shoal, then we're in action, right? I kill this. I activate my Bazaar. I cast my Hollow One. And we're kind of gaming. This needed to name Sickening Shoal to lock up the game. If they named Bazaar of Baghdad, we still have play. Because we can draw Sickening Shoal, go to hand size, discard the troll, kill one of the guys, dredge into some chills to stay alive, that sort of thing. So our opponent gave us a window, but we missed it. So, good games. And I'll see you for the next one. Okay, next round we start with a powder. Double Narc going is pretty scary, but look at my hand. I'll keep it. Cyrus 999, the Tezzeret avatar, but the Lurus companion. So just a deck full of lies over there. The Mana Vault. You got it, buddy. And then we get to grief them dead, discarding a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at this discard. Life is great. So I'm going to hit them with a grief now and a grief later. I'm going to lead on the hollow one to eat the force of will. Yep. Force pitching stock up. That's absolutely fine. See you later, hollow boy. Grief you. So my Icarid's got food. My opponent's not got any cards. I've got a negation for whatever I leave them with. Oh, wow. That was interesting. Forcing the hollow one despite holding the plow. And now you can't force through your stock up to find your mana for your plow. That's a really interesting thing. Oh, I take your stock up. Now we can negate the other card in their hand, Merchant Scroll. And then we can dredge up onto this Ink Imp, get rid of it to the grief, and then they'll die. Something like that. Something like that. So they don't have stock up, they do have plowshares. If they missed on a land, they might not do anything, at which point I might need to consider slow dredging. Yeah, so they won't do anything, so I might just slow dredge grief and pass. Maybe I could just completely just slow dredge. Right? Like, just slow dredge up onto this grave troll. No, I think I'd rather stink. Chill, Golgari Thug, grave troll. Yeah, yeah, nice. And they just concede the game. What a delightful day. That all came down to that first sequence. I'm going to assume the presence of Containment Priest. I'm going to assume the presence of Needles. I don't know if 4 shoals is where we actually want to be, but it's where I'm going to be for now. Double Thug, double Revive. That bit I do like. And then I hate cutting this many griefs, but I'm going to. Just all stack interaction, no discard. Might not be the way to play. Might not be the best way to play. Okay, so we start off with just an organic mulligan to 6. So we take that. What the fuck is this? Well, all access is back by apparently popular demand, although I did not demand it in any way. I'll keep this, I'll bottom the Narc. Maybe you're supposed to not bottom the Narc, maybe you're supposed to bottom a hollow one, because I've got double Force of Will then for this Pithing Needle here. Yeah, okay. Bottom hollow one I think was the play. So now when I lose, we all know why. Sure, this is upside, this hollow one, but it's not great if this Pithing Needle resolves. They've only got a Soul Ring though. Oh, okay. Just Soul Ring? Is that it? What about the hate cards? What about the hate cards? My Magic Online is really struggling today. Triple hollow one. Okay, I'm gonna discard force blue card. Put the Fear of God into them. Show me a Tabernacle, homie. Nice soul guide you've got over there. They don't have anything, right? What do they have? What works here? What is the joke? I don't understand the keep. Island Soul Ring. Springs. Tinker? Stock up. Zapped it in. Zap zap. Show me your fluster. Seeing is believing. It's fine. Absolutely fine. You're at 16. You've made your land drop. Sure, you've got a stock up, but you take 12, double chill, and you die? You could have a Tormod script. Yeah, okay. Tormod script would work. I don't think these decks play Tabernacle, but you never know these days. All my wastelands are in my sideboard for the Tabernacle. Because I just don't know when I'm bringing them in, right? Like, Tabernacle's not a major... Um, Tabernacle's not a major player in the sideboard of anyone's strategy, like in anyone's sideboard strategy at the moment. So it's not a massive deal. I think they've conceded. They don't want to be at 1. Or Magic Online continues to suck. We win the match. Very nice. Round 4. See you there. Okay, match 4. Okay, Cap 10 Plan It. We are on the play. They play decks. I've got 7 cards. They've got no Lurus. This is a blue card, and I hope to find more blue cards. So we don't find any blue cards. Let's just find the Stinkweed Imps, and then we'll shell as well. I can put the Amalgam down later if I need to. But if we somehow get wasted here, then this just covers. I don't know why I discarded the shell over the fucking Thug. That was wild. Mox Pearl. Mox Pearl. I don't know what they're doing. This is a Tinker deck. Mox Pearl, Vexian Bauble. Yeah, bro. That's fine. Wasteland. What are they playing? Island. Mox Pearl, Vexian Bauble. Island. No. No good cards. I don't understand. Sorry, no Lurus. That's small. I can't even read that, let alone you guys. So we'll discard the Amalgam now and the 2 Stinkweed Imps. I think you go back. So I've got 1 Amalgam on the way in. We'll try to Stinkweed Imp. And now we'll pass the turn with an Amalgam en route. We can very quickly die here. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're playing. I don't know why this island looks like this. It's a workshop. Okay, so it's just dual shops, right? And this is the 1 ring. So I've got triple Icarid in the bin. I've got Grief in the bin. I can't cast spells. I'm going to say no to all the Icarids. I don't need those. Opponent's going to draw a bunch of cards. Can I just draw? Can I just take a draw step? I think I might. It's an Icarid. Okay. And then we'll pass the turn, and then we'll just do a bunch of pumping and dumping during their turn. No attacks. Opponent's got a 1 ring. I'm probably already dead here. They take 1. And now they activate the ring. And now they've got 4 mana, which looks like another ring. Yeah, so we'll Dredge in response to find our creeping chills here. So Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp, discard some Stinkweed Imps, and an Icarid, why not? Well, the reason why not, actually, now that we've done that, is if they find Khan the Great Creator and get a Soul Guide Lantern or some shit. But we get some creatures into play. We chill them down to 16. And this is one of those games where basically they need to be under the ring protection. My Noxious has disappeared. They need to be under the ring protection forever, otherwise they just die immediately. Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. Back to me. I don't know what I get from taking a draw here. I don't know what I get from not taking a draw either. Let's just say no, because they are under the protection again. And then during sideboarding, I'm going to restart this client, because it is not having the greatest time. Draw a Creeping Chill. A classic. So I just don't have 3 life points is the joke there, right? Opponent takes 1. Look, my graveyard's already stocked. I've already got a billion Icarids. I've also done that thing where I've decided to record a league at 5:30 in the evenings next to a main road leaving London, so apologies if the traffic's loud. Opponent's draw step. Opponent draws 2. 9 entire cards in their library, in their hand, sorry. And they walk, sure. And then they've got a jewel. Okay then. 10 cards in hand. There's the Academy. We can get rid of our graveyard, it doesn't do anything. Just gonna break the program. Okay, so opponent's got a Metamorph. The Metamorph copies the coveted jewel. If I ever attack, they lose anyway, so the coveted jewels don't matter, but I need to make sure I've got 6 cards in my deck. This looks like a PO or something. Oh, another jewel. Soaring. Blah, blah, blah. Metamorph. Another jewel. Getting close to the point here where I can't actually attack them. Actually, that's only 12 cards, alright, that's half my deck, it's fine. And then Tezzeret, Cruelest Captain. Is that a kill from here? It should be, right? Tezzeret untaps the ring. The ring activates. They've got 16 cards. I can't imagine we're ever winning, but sometimes it's fun to make them do it. Do they have a time walk turn still behind? Is this the same turn as time walk? Or is this a different turn to time walk? I think they walked and then activated the tomb earlier. They didn't activate Tezzeret either. I've got no idea where we are. They're not under the protection now, right? Oh no, they've got another turn. Okay, how many chills have I been through? 2. There's 1 in hand, 1 in exile. Opponent activates the ring. They've got 12 cards in hand again. They've got something approaching unbounded mana. They discarded Talon Gates, Force of Will, Trinosphere, Ancient Tomb. And they cast a Coveted Jewel. Coveted Jewel draws them some cards. I've got them in at effective 4, right? Assuming I find both my chills. They Ancestral themselves. They play a Khan. Khan's in play. Khan can find a Worm Coil if they want to. They untap the ring with Tez. They play a Time Vault. They play a Manifold Key. And all they've got to do is get rid of their One Ring. I'm sure they can do with what they've got available to them. Khan activates. They find a Worm Coil Engine, which they're then going to deploy. Oh, a thing. An ounce of nonsense to go in their deck. So this guy just spits out a bunch of tokens. That's largely not what the game's about at the moment. It's actually about their One Ring on 5 counters. All they have to do is pick that up for me to be convinced that I've lost. Tezzeret has some counters. I've got 2 Creeping Chills in my deck. Taps the Academy. This should just be the replacement One Ring. There it is. Let's make sure they click on the right One Ring. And they keep the correct One Ring. Okay, that's good for me. Good game. So, classic duel, that was, really. We can get some Vigors. We can drop some Thugs and drop some Noxious. I think call it a day. Okay, game 2. I've just reset my client, so hopefully we don't lag out quite as hard. That was, you want the die roll to play first? Yes, please. Yeah. See how smooth it is now that I've restarted my client. It's so good. Okay, so I need to finish my Pack Wars League, which I'm not going to do. And our hand is cool. I think you'll agree that my hand is cool. So I can draw up. Can I? Why is it that I've been playing this deck for fucking years and I still can't work out how this works? Right. Let's activate Bazaar of Baghdad first of all. Let's discard Powder, Amalgam. No. Powder, Shell, Narc. Let's grief you You've got 5 cards in hand? That's not very many cards. That is not very good either. Let's take your Sink into Stupor then. So that's a hand with no lands now. I know they've got a Needle. I've got a Force of Will. I know they've got a Bauble. Just going to force that one. That might be aggressive. That might be aggressive. That might need to be reviewed, that play. We'll Dredge the Shell. We'll hit a Narcomoeba. That's going to bring back... Oh, we'll hit 2 Narcomoebas. Tasty shit. It's going to bring back our Amalgam. Then we'll play our Bazaar of Baghdad. And then we'll just do whatever we can this turn. Activate Bazaar. Discard some stuff. Activate Bazaar. Dredge a Shell. Dredge a Stinkweed Imp. Crunch, crunch. Icarid's in there. I don't care about your lands. Look at my board state. I've got 2 1/1s. You'll go. And they concede. Okay, so we played that maybe a bit too sketchily, but it was funny. Anything different on the draw? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Just all of the interaction we can possibly imagine. So, okay, final game against the Planet. We've got Powder. We're going to get rid of all of the cards that are relevant in the matchup, and then we'll go to 6. Then we'll go to 5. And then we'll keep this. 0 protection on the draw against Duel isn't where I want to be, but it is where I am. The Planet keeps 7. Ruby. Workshop. And the Ring. Which is pretty bad for us. We'll go Bazaar of Baghdad. Icarid, Thug. I've got Vigor pitching. Opponent takes no damage ever. Passes straight through their main phase. Then draws a card. So that was an odd sequence. Mox Emerald comes into play. Then a Tolarian Academy. And then they've got nothing good to say, really? I've got a Golgari Thug. 2 Narcs. No good things for Icarids though, so that's upsetting. I might eat an Icarid here. Icarid eating Icarid? I think so. I kind of want to get this game rolling. Dredge a Thug then. Hit another Chill. It's a bit better. You're at 14. 2 Chills have gone. 1 Amalgam comes into play 3 times. Upkeep, I think I'm going after those 2 Rubies, those 2 Moxen. You draw 2 cards in response, but we do hamper your Academy quite drastically. And if you're tapping 5 mana for... You're not tapping 5 mana for Force of Will, but we did kill the Academy this turn, so that's quite nice. They draw 2. They've gone Otawara. That's 4 more mana. That's going to copy the Ring. So we can chill out for a turn this turn. We've got 5 cards in hand. That doesn't matter. So we'll say no. We'll just take a draw step. Find another Vigor. We'll once again go after their 2 Moxen on upkeep. These plays might be poor, but they are interesting to me. They draw this time, which is cool. So then they're going to take 2 more damage or find a PO. They find a Force of Will. Pitching something. I've still only been through 2 chills here. Force of Will, pitching Sink and Stupor. So they did want access to the mana this turn. You go to 10. And then you have a draw step. 6 cards. 6 cards, and they've announced that they want the mana. They play a Mana Crypt. You probably tap this Otawara for PO. Phyrexian Metamorph down to 2. I'm going to Dredge in response to this. Oh, they copied the Mana Crypt. This has just got to be a PO, right? PO for 5. Through the Otawara. Otherwise that's just suicidal. Yeah, PO for 5. I could activate looking for my single Mind Break trap, but then we'd find out that it's in exile, and that's never going to work. So we won't do that. Opponent's got 8. No, they've got 13 cards and 8 life points. So this one's not looking good for us. This matchup is not particularly good for us. This is a new Mox. I've been going after the Ghoul Mox, and that's one of the ones I went after earlier. That's the other one. We know they're holding a One Ring. We know they're holding a Metamorph. They've just played a Workshop. That's a coveted jewel. So they're just going for the kill here. We know they're holding the Metamorph as well, right? Ancestral Self. They never Ancestral me. Opponent's currently not under protection, but I will activate when they try to go under protection. That's a Monolith. That's a Crypt. That's a Synthesizer. What's this? Whenever another artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater. That's a Metamorph. That's going to be a jewel, I guess. They draw 3. They synthesize. They Metamorph. And one thing to note here, whilst our opponent does this, they've just paid 4 mana for their Metamorph, and this is really interesting because it shows that your opponent is really switched on to what's going on. They know they've seen 2 Creeping Chills, they know that they're at an effective 2, and they're not going to go below that effective 2 to make their Metamorph slightly more efficient, right? So that was like quite an interesting little play that we've made here from our opponent. They know exactly what's going on board, and they're not going to just hand me the game. They do have a Crypt in play, which is interesting, but they are aware of the potential for 6 damage on my activation whenever I opt into doing that. So, I don't know, that was interesting. They now tap their Academy, only 11 mana, which is pretty weak, really. No, yeah, see, you can develop a bit more. Monolith. And then metamorphizes a coveted jewel. They synthesize, they draw 3. All of this, and they're still holding the One Ring. So despite everything, I'm still going to have to give them another turn in a moment and pray for crit flips. They've got 15 cards in hand and we've only seen one PO, so even then it's not likely. And so it's 3 POs. Oh, I don't like that, so I guess I have to go in response to this. Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp, 1 chill. We'll sandbag a Stinkweed. Chill you. Cool, you got it. So it's 1 PO plus 3 POs plus 1 Khan, right? That's what they're working with at the moment. They've still not tapped their Academy. That's a Pithing Needle, so that's basically game, I think, now. Unless they fail to put the One Ring on the stack. That's a Cage. Okay. Our man's got some hate. I think we're dead now, right? There's nothing we're going to be able to survive against here. They metamorph a bit more. Another coveted jewel, why the fuck not? But no, I think that's good. I can't activate my Bazaar. They've got a large amount of power and toughness in play over here. My graveyard's dead if I ever hit the other chill, and my creatures can't come back into play. So this is my board state to work with. I have to block everything. I can't attack next turn because they're holding the One Ring still, and they're just going to take infinite turns anyway. And even if they don't, they're not going to leave themselves in a position to die. So congratulations, you win. I concede. See you again soon. Thanks for playing. Okie dokie then. Round 5. We're up against Darth Dog, and we are on the draw as well. That's my screen. We're going to keep it. They've revealed Allurus of the Dream Den. I think they've been playing Breach recently. So we'll see how that rolls out. But just land go is interesting. What does that mean? Pluto Delta go. Maybe they're playing like a control variant. Let's find more info and then lead on Chalice, I guess. Chalice I can get forced, I don't care. So Thug, Amalgam, Bath Amoeba. And then we'll go Chalice to the Void. I can't imagine this is going to get anything if they're on a control list. But if they're on a Breach combo list, then this might work, and then I get to grief them. So maybe I'm supposed to grief first, but I really don't like getting my grief forced, because I feel like I'm like so super vulnerable. So at least gets a fetch out of them. That gets an Undercity Sewers, which is kind of inconclusive. That gets a dig through time, which I think means Breach. I'm not sure. Let's now grief you and see if that gets through. That does get through. Please no wastelands. Strip mine. Okay, cool. So we're fucked. So what we're gonna do then, because I can't resolve Noxious through Strip Mine. So if I take Misstep, and then I can Noxious Narc now, and if you negate it, which you probably can't, then you don't have the stuff for later. Yeah, I don't think you can negate it, because you need to consider the fact that I've got more Noxious in hand, right? And you need the Spell Piss up to protect on your end step against another Noxious. So they strip mine my Bazaar of Baghdad, and now their hand is 2 C's, Negation, Pierce, and something else, but I'm going to end this turn with a bunch of Power and Toughness in play. We don't know how much, and we don't know if it's going to be there for long, but it's at least something. So Thug happened, double Narc, and an Amalgam. We also hit Stinkweed Imp to keep going with, and we need a yield to all future triggers as well. And now it's your go, and I've got 5 power in play, which off of 1 activation and a Slightly different use of Noxious. I think that's cool. Underground Sea comes in and we hope they haven't drawn anything good. Stinkweed Imp comes in and chills their face off, hits 2 more dredges. So in for 5, you're at 11. Unless you've drawn a Bowmaster. Hasn't. Okay, cool. So this is going reasonable. That's a Psychic Frog, which is really quite annoying. But I don't think that changes much about how I play. I think I just keep attacking. Sure, they can discard a bunch of cards. Blah, blah, blah. I've got one Shambling Shell left, and then I'm on draw steps. But if we can just push through, that might be fine. The moment I hit something else, like a Narcomy Roaring Ichorid, my Amalgams come back into play. Basic Swamps. It's just blue-black control. Bro buys Lurus. Maybe that attack was nonsense, but I can't just sit here and relax all day long, right? Shambling Shell. Double Ichorid. In for 2. Double Ichorid is pretty cool. They've got a Lifelinker though. So maybe we're just on single ick. I've got no. Oof. Oof. Christ. That was a horrendous turn of events. And Lurus. And no attack. Okay. 6 cards in the bin. Let's pick up 1 Ichorid to bring back 2 Amalgams. Take a draw step. And make no attacks. Now going round doesn't look particularly easy. Maybe that attack earlier when I made that guy a 3/4 was really bad. I only dealt them 13 damage, that's not very much. If they attack with the Lurus here, then they're holding Fatal Push. Or they're trying to bluff Fatal Push. They don't have a Force Negation, they don't have an Underground Sea. They've got 2 cards left, one of them's a Spell Pierce. 3 cards left, one of them's a Spell Pierce. They could have a Mox or a Lotus, but that doesn't really make a difference. They've made 58 land drops this game. I don't like how I've played. I don't know if I had other options. But I don't like how I've ended up here. And I'm wondering if that attack was really bad. That one where we've just attacked into the frog. So 2, 3, 4, oh god. That's all the cards. So Spell Pierce, Waste, Waste, Delta goes to the bin. They can make a 1/1 to block the Saga with. The 2 frogs probably come in here, but nothing else. No frogs come, so we just discard our hand and then pass. Wild stuff. So they've got a 1/1 as well. If I bring back an Ichorid, attack, 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 attack. 1 frog jumps, I deal you 1 damage, you gain 3. So this seems pretty poor time to go for it. We can draw a card, it's a Thug, no attacks. Pass to us, discard a Stinkweed, and then we're back in the game. No, we're not in the game because of this. Fuck. Discard a Thug then. Save the Stinkweed for post Soul Guide. There's no post Soul Guide world because they've got a Lurus. Okay, so we might. I think we're just dead then. Nihil Spellbomb. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because I can't. Because this nukes now and then they redeploy, right? And they draw a card on the way through. So good games. Thanks for joining us, and we will go to game 2. Always nice to lose game 1. I'm gonna go for the no blue approach and see how it works. Not the no misstep approach. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Could keep the chalice. Could leave the chalice. I'm going to leave the chalice in the board. We are on the play ball. And we mulligan to 6. Now I've got some cards. Lots of anti-hate. No dredges. Keep this bottom Narcomoeba. Say done. And we flip some cards over. And we get Icarid Narc. That's not very good. So Soul Guide would be annoying. Strip Mine would be annoying. Lotus would be the most annoying. Please don't hit me with a jailer. Please don't hit me with a jailer. Please don't hit me with a jailer. Psychic Frog. Craft Digger's Cage. Pass. Okay. So let's try and Noxious this guy. Not Noxious. Vigor this guy. That resolves. That's interesting. Icarid happens. I just draw a card, I think. No, I strip mine you. I know they've got a frog, but I think I'm more interested in working out what's going on this turn. Strip mines all. They discard a Spell Pierce. They discard a Bowman. They discard a Bowman. They're going to get him for 4. They draw a card. They play a Swamp. Do I have the time to strip mine that Swamp? I don't know. If I hit a Dredger here, I think I do. I hit a Dredger here, so let's go. Up. Icarid. So let's hold priority. No, maybe I just top a Narcomoeba. Top a Narcomoeba, top a strip mine. I think top a Narcomoeba seems really good. Now go over the top of the Icarid. Multiple Narcs. Multiple Amalgams. I could have gone after the strip mine, but then that would be less of a Dredge 6 that we have here. Two Amalgams. Icarid eats Grief. And then we dredge Grave Troll. Chill them twice, that's tasty. And then attack for 3. We've got a Chomp Blocker, they've got 2 cards. I've got some other cards in play. Okay. Maybe that changes the game. Maybe they play something that makes me regret that. Not going after the strip mine, but opponents conceded. So that means what we did was somewhat acceptable, but I don't hate the idea of getting the strip mine there. Like, hold priority, target strip mine, dredge over the top. On the draw, do we want anything else? I don't think so. Could consider re-adding the blue, but I don't want to do that. I want to just have like the more Jundy, grindy, mid-rangey plan. Okay. Game 3, the decider. Opponent on the play, which makes this all a lot harder. And then what? Okay, so we've got a good hand here. We get to keep on 7. We've got Misstep for their turn 1 hate piece. We've got Sickening Shoal for their thing, and we can grief our way through. We can also, if possible, dredge onto a Shambling Shell later and get a Vigor off. This makes me think they're holding a Yixlid Jailer. There's our Shambling Shell. Let's activate and see if we can find a hollow one to bait with. We cannot. So, Stinkweed Imp, Golgari Thug, Prized Amalgam. Grief Pitching, Creeping Chill. Grief gets in. I'm expecting a Jailer to be in hand. Just 2 Bowmasters. Oh, and a bunch of kill. I just got 2 Dredges, so I'm pretty happy with this. We take one of the Bowmen. We've got the Misstep if they draw hate later. We've got the Vigor if they draw hate later. We've got the Sickening Shoal if they draw hate later. But they've just kept on the strength of double waste and slow dredging. They keep on top, I think. They've got a wasteland. My thing's dead. Okay, and then they waste me. And I'm just going to dredge a Stinkweed Imp and just slowly build back on. We miss everything. But we hit 2 more dredges and another amalgam. Slow dredging should be good here, I think. Sure, they're going to play a guy. It's going to be 1-1 and a 1-1. Blah, blah, blah. Or they're going to draw Ancestral. Grafdigger's Cage. I will fight that like this. That might be incorrect. It might be worth a Vigor rather than that, because now I'm really exposed to the other card. But this helps a lot. The other card is Nihil Spellbomb. Maybe I'm supposed to Vigor that thing instead of Misstep. But we're pretty well set up here. That's a Psychic Frog. We've got 3 cards in hand. So I'll attack with 2 amalgams. Draw step, will dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Attack with 2 amalgams. Ding ding. Hold back the Chump Blocker. They might just take the 6. Who knows? But they might try and eat a guy. So they discard 2 cards and then we Sickening Shoal and hope not to get dazed. There's a Spell Pierce. We know one card is a... Oh, we know the rest of the cards. Strip Mine, and then we know they're holding a Bowman as well. So we'll now kill this before damage, pitching the Stinkweed Imp. Mainly the Stinkweed Imp because I don't want to have to count combat on the Thug. So they've got a 0-1. Their Frog's dead. They're holding a Bowman. I don't think Bowman's quite good enough without top decking the Time Twister. That's a Mox Pearl. And then they just buy Lurus? Yeah, okay, cool. I don't have a Sickening Shoal. I do have this, though. Okay, so I can dredge something here. Thug. Hits nothing. 7U. And then we just shoot the Pearl in upkeep to delay the Lurus, I think. Maybe that's wrong. They top deck Lotus and they get to Lurus plus Cage in the face of my Vigor. So maybe we can play around that like this and just let them do this. They draw a waste. They play a Wasteland, so then they can play Lurus Cage. and then we can kill the cage and carry on with our day. And the pearl. So maybe this is exactly the same, because it all ends up with pearl and cage in the bin and Luris in play. Draw step, we dredge our final thug, and we hit a Narcomoeba and a Creeping Chill. So Narcomoeba is great because it's going to bring in an Amalgam. I hit an Icarid as well. That was just like perfect. We attack. They have to block at this point, so Luris is just dead. And that's got to be game, surely. That was insane. And I get 2 Amalgams in play. Or I get 1 now and 1 later. So that seems great. They concede. Okay, another money back guarantee with Dredge. Round 5 was the classic lose game 1, win the other 2, which is, exactly how we expect it to go. But no, cool league. It was interesting. I think it showed how difficult that dual matchup is against Captain Planet. It's not an atypical match that we witnessed there, which is part of why I've been enjoying that combo list so much. Because I think the matchup spread is similar, but you're faster and your dual matchup isn't just dead. The mono white matchup went how the mono white matchup can go. I find it very play draw dependent with mono white. And then we played some other decks. The one thing I have found in the past is that this build, I know we won the match against Darthdog there, but this build, when you're on more negations, it's kind of worse against the Lurus decks because you don't have as many creatures to shit into play against their wastelands, which means it is actually easy for them to do the thing that he did in game 1, or they did in game 1, which is strip mine you, play some blockers, and actually just defeat your deck by casting creature spells, sort of thing. So, yeah, no, that was a cool league. Thanks for watching. I will see you all again in the future. Take care, bye.